One day at the Sodor Steamworks, James had to get a repaint because of how dirty he is. Victor, can you hurry up with my new coat of paint, please? Why the rush, James? Because I have a very important meeting with the Duke and Duchess of Boxford, because Spencer is pretty much sick. Hey, if you're here then why are you not going to the washdown, Because that fat-ass controller says that all washdowns are under repair currently. So, please give me a new coat of paint. I haven't got all day, you know. Victor angrily wheezed steam at James. Ugh. Fine then, James. I'll do whatever the fuck you want. Kevin, where's that goddamn red paint for James, Hey, boss, we have a bit of an issue right now at the moment. What do you mean, Kevin? There's no red paint left. Wait, what? The fuck do you mean there's no red paint left? This has got to be a joke, right? The workmen checked all over the place. There is no red paint left. Kevin, I guess you're right. Maybe James should be painted black and yellow. Excuse me, bastard. I was gonna be painted yellow. Rheneas, watch where you're fucking going. I didn't say you were going to be painted like a bee, did I? Oh, oops. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Yeah, go back to your fucking spot. Yes, Victor. James was surprised. You mean I have to be painted like a fucking bee? I'm afraid so, James. Back talk to me like that again and I will paint you blue. Yes, Victor. Hours later, James returned from the Steamworks, a different looking engine. He was no longer a bright red shiny engine, and instead it was a black and yellow striped bee. He hoped no one would be at the station to pick up the Duke and Duchess of Boxford. Unfortunately, Peter Sam was at the station dropping off the Duke and Duchess of Boxford for giving them a smooth ride around the narrow gauge railway. And it wasn't too long until a stripy bee James arrived nervously at the station. Peter Sam couldn't believe his eyes. What are you supposed to be? James dressed up for a Halloween? Rubbish. At least I'm not in your old funnel like you. Shush! You're not supposed to know that, James. The guard's whistle blew, and Peter Sam puffed away fuming. The Duke and Duchess were on board, and James angrily wheezed steam and puffed out of the station without a word. James was so cross that he started to go faster and faster. Steady, James, cautioned his driver. We're not running a race. We are, then. That Peter Sam teased me. I'll show him somehow. James was going so fast and so rough that the Duke and Duchess had spilled their tea and their desserts went flying across the coach. But James didn't care. He was still cross. Hate being a busy bee. I want to be red again. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt yelled at James. Since I heard you like roughhousing with the Duke and Duchess of Boxford, how about you go handle some trucks for a while? That should teach you a lesson. And that's exactly what James did. As rough as he could, he bumped and bashed some trucks at the quarry. Finally, James arrived at Ulfstead with his delivery of stone. James worked hard all evening. He was so tired that his driver allowed him to sleep on one of the sidings at Ulfstead. James was just dozing, thinking about what would happen in the future, when... Help! A freight train came rushing through much too fast. The engine was Caitlin, and she was frightened. Her brake blocks were on fire. "They're pushing me! They're pushing me!" she shouted. On! Faster! Faster!" giggled the freight cars. Still whistling, "Help! Help!" Poor Caitlin disappeared. James had forgotten all those years ago that he used to have wooden brakes himself. I ought to teach those trucks a lesson. But James heard an alarm. "What's going on?" "Apparently, Caitlin is off the rails," said his driver. "You must get Rocky or something." Well, looks like it's my turn to rescue somebody. "Wake the fuck up, Rocky! Caitlin's off the tracks. We must get her back on." "Go get her, James!" Bother those dumbass trucks and their tricks. I hope poor Caitlin isn't hurt. Me too. But meanwhile, Caitlin's driver and fireman were feeling her all over to see if she was hurt. "Never mind, Caitlin. It was those dumbass trucks and their old wooden brakes that caused the accident. We should have had those checked a long time ago." "Yeah, I agree." James was able to pull Rocky alongside Caitlin. Then he pulled the unhurt trucks out of the way. "Oh dear, oh dear. Serves you idiots right, serves you idiots right," grumbled James. He was hard at work, puffing backwards and forwards all afternoon, like a busy bee should. "This should teach you morons a lesson." They left the broken cars, and with Rocky's mighty heave, he was able to lift Caitlin back onto the rails. She tried to move, but she couldn't. So James offered her back to the castle. Later on that night, Sir Topham Hatt hosted some engines at Ulfstead Castle about James's bravery. Caitlin spoke first. "You should be proud of James. He rescued me with all his bravery." Then Sir Topham Hatt turned his attention to James. "I've heard all about it, and I'm very pleased with you. You are a very useful engine." "Thank you, sir. However, not only you're allowed to pull passengers again for all your hard work, but you shall have your red coat back." James was so happy he thought his boiler would burst. "Thank you, sir." The very next day, as soon as the shed doors to the Steamworks opened, out popped a brand new James in his red coat. He felt so splendid and strong than ever before. "I'm telling you, Sir Handel, it was real yesterday. James was painted like a bee. Really. Yes, he's coming down just about." "Hello there, fools. Come to laugh at me now. Ha 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 ha." "Peter Sam, you fucking liar!" Sir Handel, I can explain." "Could you two shut the hell up? I'm trying to sleep here. Oh, sorry, Grandpuff. Let's just say Pizza Sam made up a stupid lie that James was a bumblebee. Anyways, I gotta get to work now. Yeah, so do I. Now that's more like it. Impudent scallywags. The other engines now don't tease James about his paintwork anymore. They wish they had an even coat like him.